Hey guys, so I know it's been a bit or a while, well not so much of a while since I talked about AI, but boy, have things changed, in just a short time. Now, first and foremost, VEO2, Google's image or text to video AI is out. It is out as of right now. The catch is when you go to it, you got to go to VEDX AI to try it through the Google Cloud, excuse me. You got to try it through the Google Cloud. That's what you got to do. So you got to go to VEDX AI and try it through the Google Cloud. That's one way of doing it. The other way is through Gemini, and the catch there is it's Gemini Advanced, so you got to pay. You got to pay a monthly fee, like you do with any other ones, to use it. But from what I've seen, it looks okay. It's it's not exactly there yet, like giving you exactly what you're asking for, but it has a good clue. It has a good clue from what I've seen using it through VEDX AI. It does have a good clue as to what you want. So it's not there yet. It's not there yet unless I think you go to Gemini Advanced, and then you'll probably get it there. But as far as I'm seeing, it has potential to be exactly what you want it to be. And the catch is it's at 8 seconds. That's right. This one lets you go 8 seconds instead of 4 or 5. So that's the one positive in their favor. However, outside of that, they still have a lot to learn. I see that. Now again, I don't know if there's any difference between the VEDX AI VEO2 version and the Gemini Advanced VEO2 version, but basically it does kind of give you what you're wanting and everything. The other thing too is you can't do, as far as I've seen with the VEDX AI take on VEO2. You can't do image to video, as far as I know. You can only do text to video. You can do text to image and all that, prompt to image, but you can't do image to video. You got to do text to video. Now, like I said, that could be totally different when it comes to the Gemini Advanced version, but I'm not really sure. But once they get that image to video situation down, in my opinion, they might have a chance to really take off. Now, with that said, something else has come around as well. As I've mentioned before, a lot of these AI services like to update. They like to upgrade their potential. And Luma, which was one of the first ones I used, has updated itself as well. Now, not only does it have Ray 2, which is more accurate, more akin to Kling 1.6, but it also has Ray 2 Flash, which is basically not only akin to Kling 1.6, but it's a lot faster in its presentation. The other thing they've done as well is something they call Bolt. It's one of those names. Basically, it's like a camera adage. It's a camera adage to where when you do the video, it also gives you the choice to have the camera go in different directions, kind of like circle around the area, like instead of focusing on the image itself and whatever it's going to do, it has you kind of go like from this side to this side, from one side to this side. You get the idea. I'm sure you've seen it. But it allows you to go from side to side, which again proves one thing I believe I've mentioned before, and that is Luma is more primarily meant for the filmmaker kind of stuff than just, a little bit of fun. Yes, you can do your image to videos just like you do your text to video, and that's fine. Don't get me wrong. That is absolutely fine. The issue, though, like I said, is, even though they let you do that, you got to be more specific in what you want it to do. but also you got to take your time, because what it does is that it'll start giving you what you want, but then it'll end, and then you got to extend it to try to hopefully get to what you want. That's the whole gist of it. That's the whole gist of it, from what I can tell. Now, with that said, they're still very good. Don't get me wrong. They're still good because they allow you to extend as long as you want. They don't limit you. You know, they don't limit you to a certain amount of extensions. Excuse me. They don't limit you to that. There are others that have potential to be good that do. Now, with that said, Halo U, which is HAILUO, it's getting better too. It's kind of getting more into trying to be what it is. Last I checked, it's still no extension yet, but it's got basically things more based in director situations, to where when you want something done, you can also direct how you want the camera to go with that image. You know, so, you know, that's one thing they're doing. Let me get some coffee here for a second, guys. That's better. But like I said, it basically is more director based. Like if you want a camera to do certain things and all that, it will. Now over time, I think it will get better, and I think over time they will add the extension. It just takes some time as well. Now, Runaway has basically improved a little bit. It's got what's known as 4.0, I think, or something like that. And you can see there's improvements there. You can see that. They still have a lot more to improve and all that. They still have to, they still allow you to extend, but only for a certain time. But the Runaway, you could tell, is a little bit better, you know, in giving you what you're asking for and everything, you know, along the ways. Now, with that said, we also have VDU, which is VDU. They're pretty good. They're 2.0 still. And they are probably, in my opinion, the most accurate, you know, presentation of what you want, you know, when it comes to a scene. Like, let's say I want to take a character and say, you know, in the prompt, you know, from an image, and say, okay, such and such character is going to melt into a puddle of goo. It will give you that. It will give you that probably better than you've ever expected, but it will give you that. The only catch, again, is when you go a little higher over time, you're going to spend a lot more credits. That's the only catch. Like when you want to go from 4 seconds auto and all that to, let's say, 4 seconds at 720p, you're going to spend 12 credits instead of 4. Or if you want to go from 4 seconds to 8 seconds, you're automatically going to go, you know, to 720p, and it's going to raise you up to 24. And if you want to go 1080p, up to, I think, 72. So you got to be careful. Best recommendation with VDU is 4 seconds. And yeah, it does take time to kind of get it the way you want, but once you do, it's perfect. So they're the more accurate versions. You know, they're the more accurate versions. You could tell, too, they're probably on the verge of adding more to the stock over time, in my opinion. They're on the verge of adding more to the stock over time. Now, with that said, let's go to Pixverse. Pixverse is, you know, still the same. It's pretty much still the same. You know, it, along with Kling and a few others, are adding in the Ghibli AI, which is very controversial in a lot of people's eyes. They're adding that style so that you can try to get something in a Ghibli-like manner. So, like, when you want to have it a certain style, you can say, I want Ghibli. You can get an image in Ghibli. There you go. But anyway, with that said, they're still pretty good, and they are the perfect complement. That's right. They are the perfect complement for whatever you want. And what I mean by that is, no matter what service you might use, if that service, even through extension, doesn't give you what you're asking for, Pixverse will. Because all you have to do, because Pixverse as I mentioned before, has this in the extended portion of the video of the service. You go to extend, and all you have to do is add a video clip in there from either Pixverse itself or any other website. Even if it's not an AI website, you could add an image in there, and then you could say, what you want to have added on, and what you want added on will be added on. So yeah, they will do that. I mean, they do their own thing, don't get me wrong, and they're good at it. They are definitely good at it. But when you say, hey, I want this added on to the scene you're adding in there from another place, it will give it to you. For example, I went to a third party, I think it was a YT to MP4 website, third party website, very carefully, and I downloaded the hot hotels scene, as they called it, from National Lampoon's European Vacation. And it's the scene basically where Helen is taking a bubble bath in the one and only bathroom on the floor of the hotel they're in. And I'm going to tell you this right now before I get into this. If my family was staying in a hotel like that, where the rooms were not numbered, they were not numbered, because that's what they were. They were not numbered in this movie. And there was only one bathroom down the hall with one bath and everything. Excuse me. Kind of getting over some allergies here, I do apologize. But I'll tell you this, if me and my family stay in a place like that, I would make sure before I left my wife, who's taking a bubble bath in the only bathroom that they have down that hall for everybody in that hotel, on that floor of that hotel to share, I would basically lock the door before I left. I would tell her, hey, I'll meet you back at the room, enjoy yourself, lock the door, done. But this is National Lampoon's, this is the Griswolds, and that didn't happen. So anyway, get back to the point. We get to the part where she thinks Clark's in there with her, and then she sees it's not him, and then she submerges into the bubble bath, right? So one thing I did, and I've done this with some other stuff as well, is I would decide, okay, she submerges under, I'll let the scene play out. She submerges under the bubble bath, right? But then I say this, just to be a little silly, right? Just to be a little silly, I say, then just her red lipstick smiling lips emerge from the bubble bath. Yeah, I do that. And guess what happens? All of a sudden, after she submerges, and I put that clip into the prompt for Pixverse, and I say that, and I ask for that to happen, guess what? Only red smiling lipstick lips come up. Yeah. And I know you're thinking, that's kind of weird and silly. Well, that's kind of how I am. Don't get me wrong. That's kind of how I am. But the point I'm getting at basically is Pixverse is the best companion to any other AI website you may create something on, but will not give you exactly what you want the way you want it. That's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it is. And I'm not saying Pixverse is perfect in anything, period. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I'm just saying basically, that most of the time they will give you that add-on you want. And I'm always thinking in my mind, well, what if a girl, and I say it with all due respect, no offense, I'm thinking, what if a woman, had the power to do that? Like they submerge in a bubble bath, and just to be mischievy and fun, they decide to morph themselves into lips, and then the next thing the boyfriend or girlfriend sees is just a pair of lips poking out of the bubble bath saying, I'm now the bubble bath and everything, and they know it's the friend or the girlfriend or whatever. I mean, come on. You can't tell me that wouldn't happen. And again, I say that with all due respect, no offense. All due respect, no offense. But it's the same thing if I have a character, like I said earlier, melt into a puddle of goo. I'll take that clip. If, let's say, VEO doesn't, give it to me because they don't extend right now, or Kling doesn't give it to me, I'll go to Pixverse and I'll say, I'll say the same line, but I'll say, emergence from a melted form instead of bubble bath, and then I'll see it. There you go. End of story. The point I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen, is this, okay? Voiceverse, like I said, is the best companion to it, to any AI website, I should say, or any scene you want to alter a little bit for fun. They're the best companion. They really are. The only thing holding them back is the limit in extensions. They got to get rid of that. Once they get rid of that, they'll be good. They'll be golden. I've said it before. Once they get rid of it, they will be golden. They'll be good. Then we get to Pika. Pika is doing decent from what I've seen, so they're still good. I don't think much has changed with them yet. But then we get to Kling. Oh, Kling. Everybody sees them advertising as being the best, right? Probably better than VEO2. But VEO2, like I said, once it, kind of fixes things here and there to be more accurate to what you want and adds in the image to video, they're going to be off to the races. There's no doubt. But point I'm getting at is Kling has really upped its game. So we know that with 1.0, we know that at standard at 1.0, it's, for at least 5 seconds, it's, 10 credits. And then we know if you go 10 seconds, it's 20. And we know professional, it's 35 and 72. That's 1.0, 1.5, and 1.6. We know that. Well, 1.5 and 1.6 go a little higher at times. Well, not necessarily, but you get the idea. But, Kling decided to step it up. They really did. Because we've been seeing them advertise Kling 2.0, right? We've been seeing this. We've been seeing them, advertise Kling 2.0. And if we thought, 72 credits was the most expensive when it came to professional, 1.0, 1.5, and 1.6, then Kling 2.0, known as Master, takes the cake. It does. Because you would have to basically purchase the 1320, the 1,320 credits, or the 3,500 credits to basically have enough. Why? Because like I said, 72 credits in the professional mode for Kling, at most for like 10 seconds or more, you think that's expensive? 2.0 kicks that out of the park by asking you to spend 100 credits. Yeah, 100 credits for one 5-second scene. Yeah, for one 5-second scene, and they don't have extension yet. But for one 5-second scene, you have to spend 100 credits. Yeah, imagine that. That is expensive. But it's because 2.0 Master is supposed to be the most accurate one yet. It's supposed to be the best one yet, from what I understand. And, is it going to give you exactly what you want? Kind of close, but not really. I tried it out, and if there was extensions, which I know there's going to be later on, but if there was extensions, then I could definitely see it giving you what you want. But they are asking for 100 credits. Yeah, 100 credits, from your subscription or from your purchase of additional credits. That's something. That is huge, to say the least. That is huge. And honestly, I'll put it this way. I can't blame Kling for doing that. I mean, yeah, it's a little pricey credit-wise, but I can't blame them. Because if you're going to ask them, through prompts, either text to video or image to video, if you're going to ask them to create something a certain way, then, and make sure it's all detailed and stuff, then they have all the right to do that. Yeah, it is costly, don't get me wrong, but they do have the right to do that. Now, does 2.0 still have a lot to learn, still have a lot to work out? Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Not all AIs are perfect. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong on that. Not all AIs are perfect. because a lot of them still have a lot to learn. I mean, the main goal for any AI, out there, whether it's professional or consumer, whether it's professional friendly, like for businesses and studios and all that, or consumer friendly, just for like hobbies and whatever, and up and coming, people that want to get into creativity, artistic like fields. Basically, AI overall still has a lot to learn. They still have a lot to evolve in. I mean, when you see Hollywood using these AI things to put this person in or put that thing in, when you watch it in its final form, you can tell that it's not perfect, that something's amiss, but guess what? It's still evolving. And now and that's what a lot of these are going to do. But there will come a time where when you go to a Kling, you go to a VEO2, you go to a Pixverse, you go to a VEO, you go to a HaloU, you go to a Runaway, a Luma, and you text in, what you want as a text-to-video prompt, or you put an image in and you type in what you want, to happen in that image, and one day what you want to have happen accurately will happen. End of story. End of story. But overall, I will put it this way. When it comes to 2.0 Master by Kling, you could definitely see the potential to be probably the best out there. End of discussion. But it's still got a lot to learn. But yeah, the cost though, credit-wise, probably the most I've ever seen. But again, I can't blame them for that, because if you want you want them to make things as accurate as possible, then, they're justified in doing what they're doing. But my advice is, if you have the money, make sure you either get the 1320, the 1,320 credits, or the 3,500 credits, because you're going to need them for something like Master. There's no doubt in my mind. And then over time, you can go and dip your toes into the $5 and $10 pool to kind of, make sure you have enough to continue on, if you know what I mean. But outside of that, I will say, the battle to be the best, video AI, text to video, image to video AI service, it's going strong, stronger than ever. Now they got VEO2 in the mix as well, and Kling going to 2.0. It's getting stronger than ever. Getting stronger than ever. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about this, guys, tell you what's going on, kind of give you some updates, as to, what some of these services are doing, what new things are in, what new services have popped up, and all that. And really, that's about it, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. Let me know if you guys have tried VEO2 yourself. Let me know if you've tried the new Kling 2.0 and what your thoughts are on the price of credits. Not money-wise, but credit-wise. Let me know what your thoughts are. And do you agree with me that Pixverse, P-I-X-Verse, is a good companion piece, especially with the extended mode, to kind of add on to something with your own little ideas and creations? Let me know what your thoughts are overall. Comment down below. Love to hear from each and every one of you. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later. And until then, I am out.